Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm 19 and I study veterinary medicine, and I like to help rescue cats.
Rachel Stock is an animal foster carer, a position that more and more people have begun to add to their resume. Foster carers take rescued animals into their homes for the sole purpose of socializing them, so they can then be safely adopted by another family. The process begins here, at rescue centres all across the country.
No tea for you. And once an animal is rescued, or as I mentioned, surrendered, it's a time and a place. Once the animal comes into our care, it goes into foster care, and it's a transitional period for the animal. So the foster carers basically give the animal love, attention, a warm home, safety, lots of socialization, and if the animal is fine, so it displays no behavioral issues or it has no sort of physiological issues, then our foster carers come back to us and tell us that the animal is okay for it to be adopted, and and then we put the animal up for adoption.
But it's not all cuddles and play as a foster carer. Sometimes things can get a bit crazy.
I am the resident crazy cat lady. I used to deny that position, but it's no point. I am. The max I've had at one time in one group is 5 kittens and their mum. And that was a litter that was dumped. And I mean, there was no socializing needed there, but 5 kittens at 8 weeks and their mum can be a little bit much, especially when you have 3 cats inside as well that are your own, and you're dealing with some other people that are foster caring that you're trying to help because they're new foster carers, and there's a cat downstairs in the basement recovering from being desexed so he can go back to the colony. It's a lot of cats.
But sometimes it can be hard.
My first actual foster. In fact, I probably had Jolie for 2 months, and I went from scared stray cat with her to friendly cat who loved me, and I spent a lot of time with her because she was by herself before she had to go to pet stock. I remember I couldn't sleep. I was literally in the room with her, like crying, trying to think of a good way that I could keep her. I was a little bit crazy, I think. I'm fine now, and it was worth it because she has a really happy life with people who love her. So my suffering for her happiness, if I can do it, it's worth it.
But why is foster care so important for these animals?
Shelters do a great job.
Yes,
well.
they do. They do a great job.
Yeah.
But the research that's come through, and especially the US are huge advocates for foster caring, and the research that's come through is, number one, is that they find that when an animal is in foster, the return rate is usually much lower. So animals aren't returned back into, back to the organisation, or they find with shelters, a lot of the animals usually, there's a percentage they tend to take them back. The animals tend to be more socialised in a home environment with people around, cat jumping up and down, whatever, rather than having an animal in a kennel or. So there's just little differences in terms of the quality for the animal.
The shelters are full as it is, especially ones like Campbelltown Pound. There's a kill list almost every Tuesday with about 9 cats on it, and it's a matter of they're too full. These are the 9 cats, probably including kittens that are like 8, 12 weeks old. You'd think they'd go quickly, but they're still there. And if they're not homed by the next week, they're euthanized. So if we can take one into foster care with one of the rescues, then we can socialize it, which doesn't take long if it's a young enough kitten. And then we home it independently through the rescue or through a network of rescues, and then we find a home as opposed to sitting in a shelter and probably never finding a home.
recent proposals in Western Australia to turn all pet stores into adoption centres will offer more places to take socialised rescue animals to be adopted, decreasing the overcrowding in shelters and ultimately reducing rates of euthanasia.
If you want to get involved and help out other animals in need, check out the links in the description below for more information. What do you think of that, Maya?